Hey everybody, welcome into the Arena Productions. I am the host and founder of the Arena Productions, Expat, and this is our episode 5 of The Last of Us, a recap or spoiler recap of the episode. So before we get started, I just want to let all of you know that this will be a spoiler-filled recap of the episode. Obviously, they dropped it a little bit early because of the Super Bowl on Sunday. So we got a chance to get the episode and enjoy it earlier than usual. But anyway, this is going to be filled with spoilers. So if you have not watched episode 5 yet, please go to HBO Max and watch the episode, and then come back and enjoy this video here. Okay. So and also, if you like this video, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe to the notification bell for when we drop a new episode of The Last of Us spoiler recaps and discussions, as well as all the other content here on the Arena Productions. Okay, with that said, let's get started. Okay, episode 5. I mean, this episode basically, the title of the episode, obviously, Endure and Survive. I mean, it focuses on the 4 central characters, obviously, Joel and Ellie, and then Henry and Sam, of course. But we get a lot of time, which we were introduced to Kathleen and to Perry in the previous episode. But I mean, these are the central 4 figures that I want to focus on in the episode, because obviously Joel and Ellie and Sam and Henry are trying to get out of the city. But what was interesting about it is that we got the little flashback of, right when Joel and Ellie got into the city. You see them crashing into the building there. But before that, even, we saw, of course, Sam and Henry being assisted by the doctor, given food in that little storage shack where they were staying. And then, of course, Sam using the crayons and everything to color the walls and all. I thought that was really cute. So we got a chance to see that in the beginning, and that was really cool. And then, of course, we see the part where Henry and Sam are about to leave to another location, but then they see, of course, Joel and Ellie crash into the building. And then it's interesting how Henry, as he's peeking through the window there, actually Joel kind of notices him just for a split second there. But that was really interesting. So, and then obviously we get to the point where, the end of episode 4, where Sam is pointing the gun. And then, of course, they have the little talk. And of course, Henry, puts the gun down, and then they start talking. But, Joel, he's just the grumpy Joel and everything. And Ellie's trying to let Henry and Sam know that, Joel, he's not that bad, and anyway. But the relationship starts to form between Ellie and Sam in this episode. And in this next image that I'm going to show you, when they finally get out of the big high-rise building and then they get into the tunnel system, they work their way through the tunnel system to get, outside of, or to the outskirts of the city where the river is. While they're in the tunnels, they find a kind of a place where I think it was probably the Fedra people that were held up for a certain amount of time before they had to evacuate, but they left a lot of stuff behind. And I'm going to show you this image here. So this is the Savage Starlight comic book that really brought together Ellie and Sam. And it was really cool how Ellie was talking to Sam, and Sam was mentioning that he had these certain numbers of issues of this particular comic, as well as Ellie. And Ellie was teaching Sam, oh, these are the volumes that I have and all. And of course, them playing together, kicking the soccer ball and all, just a moment, a light moment in the episode where Joel and, of course, Sam are sitting there. And, Sam was mentioning to Joel that he hadn't been completely truthful with him earlier in the episode when he was telling him that he was kind of like an informant and all. And he was saying that, he had lied that he had never killed anyone before. And so he started to mention the fact of killing Kathleen's brother and the reasons why he killed Kathleen's brother. And so I thought that was, an opening up moment for Henry with Joel, in that sense. So let's get to the juxt of the episode here, the nitty gritty. I mean, they're getting closer to the river now, and it's in the evening, and then they start getting shot at by a sniper. Yeah, and of course this is from the video game as well. But I mean, the sniper up there, I mean, he's this old guy and he doesn't know how to shoot, and so Joel, he can tell right away, and so he tells them to stay put there, and he goes into the building and up there, and you see the old guy there with the sniper rifle, and he knows, and he's got the radio, the walkie-talkie and all, and he knows that he can't give Joel the rifle. Joel's telling him, don't do it, but he knows that if he gives him the rifle and surrenders, Kathleen's probably going to have him killed. And so, yeah, he fails in trying to take Joel out. Joel takes him out and Joel gets a sniper rifle. And but then at that moment, obviously, you get all of the trucks and everything barging in, and Joel is, telling Ellie and Sam and Henry, run! But I gotta say, I mean, Joel is one hell of a shot. I mean, in this episode, man, he takes out the guy in the truck, which causes the truck to crash into the building there, or the house or whatever, and of course then it starts to cave into the ground, and we're going to talk about what happens with that. But I mean, just a master class of shooting. I mean, just amazing how accurate he was in this episode. Okay, so now I want to get a little bit into Kathleen and Perry. So I want to move back a little bit here, but of course this is the image of before all the firefight and everything. But Kathleen, she never had her priorities straight, and mentally she was out there. I mean, obviously earlier, in the episode, she's sitting down with the prisoners there, and then she still trying to get information about Henry and all, and then she just tells Perry to have them all burned and everything, execute them and just burn the bodies and all and stuff. And her mind is only fixated on one person, and that is Henry, finding Henry, because Henry is the one who murdered her brother and all. And then later in the episode, you see her in her old house, and you have that kind of emotional moment where she's thinking of her childhood with her brother and all. And then Perry comes into the room, and she's like, how did you know I was here? And Perry's like, your mother told me. And it's like, why were you talking to my mother? It's like, but I mean, yeah. I mean, what happens in this episode is all because of the unfortunate decisions that she makes, and not thinking about the community, thinking about the city, thinking about all of those that are under her. I mean, just fixated on this one particular, kid still. I mean, yeah, Henry's probably around 20 or so, I would say, but still a kid, And Perry's just loyal to the core, and you see that here. So let's go ahead and get back, or go ahead and move forward to, what goes on next. So obviously the truck just, sinks into the ground there. But just before that, I mean, Kathleen comes up, and of course, Henry and Sam and Ellie are still hiding behind the car. And then Henry decides to come out. And I don't understand why Kathleen just didn't pop him right there, But then she mentions, and what's interesting, she mentions, kids die all the time, But isn't it the kids that you would want to save in this type of apocalyptic situation? Because the kids are the future, But anyway, she couldn't realize that. She couldn't think of that. So anyway, the truck goes under, and it causes a rift where all of, like, for years and years worth of the infected were able to now get up and onto the street level. And it was like World War Z again. I mean, just hordes and hordes of them popping out, and they were just overrun. The freedom fighters, they had no chance whatsoever. But Joel, he's still like popping them all off. But then here comes, in the image here here comes the bloater. And boy, oh boy, man. I mean, Perry puts like about 50 rounds into that thing, and it still just keeps on coming. He just takes his one hand and just lifts this one freedom fighter up and just smashes him on the ground and just keeps on coming. And Perry's like telling Kathleen, run, and then he puts another like 20 rounds into it, and then he runs out. And when he runs out, obviously the bloater just takes him and just rips his head off, man. Yeah. So I mean, this protective shell of the fungus, I mean, over 20 years, I mean, this thing has been, fungus has been growing from this thing. So obviously it's almost like armor, this fungus now on these bloaters. And yeah, I mean, the bosses in the video game. Yeah, I mean, boy, oh boy, I mean, they did a really, really good job of depicting what a bloater is like. And I'm interested to see, how many more times in the series in season 1 we're going to get bloaters. But anyway. So then we get to the scene, of course, where, Ellie was in that little van thing, and then you see the clicker girl or whatever almost getting her, and then she was able to get over and use her knife and to stab some of the clickers to save Sam and Henry. But as they're getting away, then and Joel's coming down the stairs, and Joel's about to meet up with them. But then of course Kathleen pops up again, because Kathleen can't do what she should be doing and trying to save her community and getting out of there. She's still fixated on Henry, and she comes up to him again, points the gun, and she doesn't pop him. And then obviously the clicker girl from the van jumps on Kathleen and just rips her apart. So I mean, we get 2 episodes of Kathleen, which is okay. I mean, I think it's good. I mean, to move on with the series and all. But I mean, it's just, poor judgment for these past 2 episodes for sure. Okay, so we're getting to the end of the episode here, and obviously they're in the hotel, and Sam reveals to Ellie that he's been bitten on the leg. Obviously, he was probably bitten by one of the clickers when him and Henry were underneath the car. And in the other room, Joel is talking to Henry about, you can come with us to Wyoming, and Henry, he agrees. And anyway, I love this scene between them, the final kind of scenes where, Ellie sees the bite, and then she wants to try to help him, and she cuts her hand and puts her hand that's bleeding on the bite wound, hoping that would heal him. When I saw that, I was like, no, it's already too late. I think that's not gonna work. And obviously it didn't, because she promised him that she would stay up, and watch him over the night and all, but obviously she had kind of fallen asleep there, and she wakes up and you see Sam sitting on the bed, with his back to Ellie, and if you've played the video game, you know what happens, and of course he attacks her, and then there's the struggle, and then of course Henry, with the gun, stops Joel from trying to intervene and all, but then he just shoots Sam right then and there, and he's like, what did I do? And then of course Henry shoots himself in the head, and just the horrific scene and the shock that Ellie goes through seeing Henry blow his head off. I mean, that was just a gut-wrenching scene, and I mean, just the horrors of the world that they live in, and it was a really, really, really terrible scene, but Henry just basically felt like, I have nothing to live for now. It's kind of like the episode with Bill and Frank. I mean, Bill figured, okay, I'm gonna die with Frank, because when Frank dies, I really have nothing else to live for. And so Henry's kind of in the same situation with his younger brother Sam. Sam's now gone. I've killed him, so I have nothing to live for now. And so he takes his life, unfortunately. So yeah, a really shocking scene there. And then of course, the end of the episode, they bury Henry and Sam outside of the hotel there, or motel. And then just that really emotional scene where Ellie takes a little sketch pad for writing that Sam was using throughout the episode, and which they were using to communicate with each other a little bit during the episode. And she writes "I'm sorry" on it, and then puts it there, and walks away, and then tells Joel, where's, which way is west, and then let's go, let's get going. And then Joel is kind of staring down, like, what are we gonna do? And so it's interesting. Of course, the next episode we'll be seeing them heading closer to Wyoming and all. Yeah, it was a great episode, man. And of course, the four main characters here, obviously from the video game, Henry and Sam. Just some powerful scenes at the end there, and it's just going to continue to be an amazing series moving forward. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I just want to let all of you know that we also, here on the Arena Productions, we also have a Patreon. So you can come and check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/thearena_podcast. So we have a ton of content over there, and all of our content is ad-free, and we also have exclusive content for patrons as well. So if you enjoy our content here, consider becoming a patron and helping us and support us with all of our content creation. So we'd really appreciate it. Patreon is at patreon.com/thearena_podcast. So actually the arena_podcast. So yeah, go and check out our Patreon over there. And so, like I said before, if you really enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell for when we drop a new episode of our recap and discussions of The Last of Us. So The Last of Us episode 6 will be coming out next Sunday. So it'll be a little longer before we get the next episode because, episode 5 came out early because of the Super Bowl. But anyway, we will be, of course, making our discussion episode, spoiler recap and discussion of episode 6 when it comes out. So we hope you can come and watch our video for that after watching the episode. So anyway, I've been your host, Expat. And we hope to catch you in the next episode of The Last of Us. And we hope you enjoyed episode 5. And let us know in the comments what you thought of the episode. So anyway, until the next one, take care, everyone. Peace out.